welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact. Yeah, Impact Talk for Impact fans right here on the YouTube and the Twitch this evening and wherever you get your podcast audio worldwide. And we got someone new with us tonight, right, Bill?
We do.
We got a different brother from another mother. We got Dizzy from that other little show I do, the Ramblers Unleashed, and we do this every Saturday afternoon at about 1 o'clock, I think, 1 o'clock Central. We usually do it.
Yeah, it's about 1 o'clock.
Welcome, Dizzy.
Thank you for having me on, man. And let me just say, first and foremost, I've been a fan of TNI for a long time. Of course, J-Bone and I have been good brothers for a long time, and I'm really happy to be here tonight, and I'm really excited about this channel. I've been a big fan of this channel for a long time, and I'm really proud of this channel. I'm proud of where you've gone, J-Bone, and this is just a really fantastic evening. So let's go, man. What a pay-per-view.
Yeah, man, it's been a blast. So, Bill, before we start breaking everything down, getting into the meat and potatoes of everything, how was your night one experience in Windsor?
No, it was very good. It's been a little while since Slammiversary, so this was now back to the previous gym, not the Sportsplex that was used last time. So that was, but once again, full, sold out, which was good to see. A little bit of a different entrance, so the line was a little longer to get in, but it was that's a good sign. It's you're ready for a good show. So Windsor, once again, they showed out. They came out in full force.
They always
also
do,
familiar
man.
faces. Actually, the first time I went to a show in Windsor years ago when Impact started playing there, I just randomly wound up sitting next to someone in the front row. And then kind of we've been friends since. And like we talked before this, and we made sure to sit next to each other. So my friend Josh from the Windsor area, he was sitting next to me tonight. So that's always cool to see people at the venues. And you saw some regulars. There's a guy that's from Michigan, some people I know that are from, I think, more like the Pittsburgh area. And then obviously Eddie from Ohio. So it was good seeing a lot of the TNA fam and faithfuls all out and about. But
Eddie,
they were ready. The crowd was ready. And we'll talk about it. I know because compared to being there versus seeing it on TV, you don't know what comes across. So
right.
We'll talk about some stuff that may have come across on TV, positive and maybe negative. So we'll kind of get into that, and it didn't seem overwhelming, but we'll kind of touch on that as well.
Oh yeah. You definitely are going to have a different experience than we did. First of all, I want to acknowledge Mr. Bell's boy in the chat here with a super chat. Thank you very much, brother. Says, evening, J-Bone. Welcome, Dizzy. Good to see you. Bill, did you bribe to get into Canada?
Who did you bribe?
Who did you bribe to get into Canada?
Well, compared to the other times I've been to Canada, why this time am I bribing somebody? Are you saying just to get into Canada, or is this in reference to my placement behind Ash by Elegance? Is this more like that's where a bribe you could think could come into play, but it did not.
Oh man!
But
wait, you bought the bottle of champagne for Ash, though, right?
Well, I have half the bottle on my jeans right now.
Oh,
so I do have a memento.
There you go. Don't watch those. It'll be worth some money.
$8,000 bottle of champagne.
Oh
That
my
is
gosh!
Good. The funniest part, we're going to kind of bounce around. Let's talk about that segment because, man, we popped hard for that. We're sitting here just laughing our asses off. They keep cutting. The camera keeps cutting to Ash getting her glass filled. Like something would happen and she'd go, oh, fill it. feel it now, and you're behind her, and so here's the question that everyone wants to know. No, this is just me gonna get in trouble with Mrs. Bone, but I gotta ask you: Does Ash by Elegance smell good?
J-Bone, it's the perfect smell. It's elegance.
Oh,
And that's what that's
Oh,
that.
perfect.
It may have been the Iceman too. I'm sure he smells elegant as well, but I think it was Ash smelling particularly elegant tonight. We like to we coined ourselves the elegant corner tonight. So we were embracing our elegance. Not all the other knockouts were. Zaya, she was open to elegance. Jordan, she looked like she wanted to entertain some elegance. So, but then obviously we saw what happened, and it just became a mess later.
yeah. The best was when the concierge, trying to assist Ash away from the chaos, slips and busts his face on the ramp. That was priceless.
Well, it was very slick after that. Remember, that was maybe the 4th or 5th full glass of champagne at that point.
Yeah.
So
My God.
it got all over the place.
That added to the element of him being kind of a stooge and just walking Ash out of the arena, and it was just beautiful moment.
Still, Iceman, best job in the biz. Best job.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not a bad day at work. Seriously.
No, sir.
know?
No, sir.
Going from doing news scoops as the Iceman, and now you're the concierge for the former Dana Brooke, now Ash by Elegance. He knocks it out of the park. He really does.
He's knocking it out of the park. She's knocking it out of the park. The perfect long build for a new character we're seeing.
It is.
Because we've seen her really only have 2 squash matches. But yet she's being featured around the Knockouts Championship. But that might not be for months. But it's that slow tease.
Well, they're doing a good job of building her character, letting her really showcase what she's about and what her shtick is about, So that's good that they're doing letting her do this and being included on Sacrifice and all this. So props to TNA for letting her do that.
Oh yeah. And
right.
We'll never forget, J-Bone. The vignettes. I think you're still having flashbacks to those early vignettes by the pool.
I spent a few nights on the couch after those vignettes. Let me tell you, I got in trouble.
Doghouse.
I was like, oh my Lord, it's getting hot in here. Oh, hi, honey. Oh shit.
Is it her or is it hot in here?
Oh no, this is my wife chasing me down the hallway with a fryer pan.
With a rolling pin.
With a rolling pin. That's it.
How dare you?
So yeah, we were mighty jealous of Front Row Bill in that segment. That was choice.
Yeah,
that was. And then even next to me, it was like that. That was a highlight of the night, and it was for a very good show. Yet that was those type of moments. That is what kind of can make a show. So that was definitely a good time, an unexpected good time.
Yeah. So I see a few people talking about it in the chat, talking about the technical issues, but I can tell you one thing that's not going to be a technical issue is if you all smash that like button and smash that sub button and ring that bell for notifications. Let's talk about now. This is one thing that Bill, you may have heard about in the people walking around. Some people probably get the feed on their phone, kind of like sitting at a game, you're watching it live, but you're listening to the radio broadcast on your headphones or something like that. So something similar to that.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of glitches that first hour of the show. A lot of buffering, loss of signal.
Oh, okay. I honestly,
yeah.
I did not know. I did not know that because obviously I think pretty much everybody there. You got to remember, like, there's only a handful of people there from the states that I know of that are making that trip. So most of them are obviously local Windsor area fans. So they were just there, like they weren't really checking out other things. But
Right.
the only kind of thing I noticed at one point is like some volume sound issues. It was like for some reason the PA was picking up the broadcast for a moment near the end. That was really the only kind of glitch technical thing I saw, but I didn't realize there was an issue. Did it seem to be for everything, like YouTube and TNA Plus?
I was on the TNA Plus. Diz, you were on what, your cable network?
Yeah, I was on. Yeah, I was from Triller.
Okay, and it was having the same issue.
Oh,
so it was like the master feed then coming out.
Yeah, and I don't know, and J-Bone, I don't know if you caught this during the pre-show. They had a bit of an audio glitch too because they showed the arena, and you could hear the audio of the vignette with Nic Nemeth. But finally, they were able to figure out, okay, let's pot this down and pot this up, and they were able to show the video. But it was probably 2 minutes or so. They were trying to figure out, which is the switch to kill the audio in the arena, and which is the switch to kick up the audio for the Nic Nemeth promo before the show was on. It was the pre-show. But they were having some audio and video issues tonight.
Yeah, it's not an excuse, but right now, like obviously, I said they went back to the classic gym as they call it, as opposed to the Sportsplex, and there is a ton of construction going on still outside of there. So it wouldn't shock me if that could have played a part in it, depending on how they had to set up or if there was anything that was having issues. Because it was a little bit of a different setup than it's been in the past with them going back to that building. But
maybe
at least they got it corrected.
Yeah, maybe something just got disconnected from the truck.
It could be because figured out. And I think that gets into the whole thing where, once again, I haven't heard it other than our favorite dirt sheet about the whole going live aspect that's being rumored. But that's the reason why that's not really a good idea. Because, once again, this isn't a show heavy with vignettes. It's mainly matches, and you see the issues you can have with live. That's the tape can save a lot of things. So unless there's a real incentive with like sponsorship money, things like that, that doesn't seem like something that should even be on the agenda anytime soon.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, the first hour was rough, but if you hung in there, and I'm glad Dizzy did too, because I know he was getting frustrated. We were going back and forth, chatting a lot during the show, and it was a lot of buffering. It seemed like the audio, like when the show cut out completely for about 5 minutes, and it was like, oh man, it's doomed. But then it came back, and it slowly, like the buffering segments became less and less, and by about a third, halfway through the show, there wasn't hardly any at all. So
we're getting in the chat. Blame Kaz.
Blame Kaz. There you go.
He was working, and they looked like he was an undercover grip or something out there. So he probably tripped over some stuff. So the future is not good.
All those wires he had, it's like, oh well, these wires have to go somewhere.
Yeah. It was like, let's choke Eric with this one.
yeah. I'll just put these in my back pocket for later. No one's gonna need these, right? Right.
Who uses RCA?
Oh man. So for those just coming in now, we are talking about tonight's TNA Sacrifice from Windsor, Ontario. The only other news bit before we start chopping everything up, and then you shared this with me, Diz, is that there was a few people with signs that got escorted out of the building.
I didn't know that. I saw a few signs later that probably just slipped through. But when I was doing the titanium pick after the show, somebody came up to me and said, because they were sitting in the bleachers, and gave me kind of the lowdown on what happened. Because I think that happened. I don't know if that actually happened during the show or right before it went live, because it sounded like it was like similar to like when I was going to my seat, which would have been before the pre-show, because they usually film like one digital match before they even do the pre-show. So it was probably just before that happened.
Okay. Yeah.
But they were ready. They were ready for the elephant in the room.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's good, because you don't want people hijacking the show. Like, if you know that you know that the air is tense, then you gotta do what you gotta do for the show.
Well, I mean, we kind of saw that on SmackDown on WWE when somebody had a Die Rocky Die sign, and they kept blacking out the audio and the video feed, So I think that what TNA did was smart. It sucks. I know it hurts the fans, but I think what they did was smart to not hijack the product, because I said this to J-Bone. I know that Scott's gone. We all know that Scott's gone, but let's not destroy what Scott built. Let's cherish and let's celebrate what Scott built. Even though
he wouldn't want it. He wouldn't want it.
No, nobody would want that. And
if you see Moose in the main event, you can really kind of tell, because I thought he handled it like a champ, because it was springing up again, and he just went full heel on everybody to kind of diffuse it. And there's not a bigger supporter of Scott than Moose. So like that, he knows what's the right way to go about handling that. So once again, we're all big fans of Scott. Like, that's a whole nother thing. But at this point, that does nothing but deflect from the people on the show now, from possibly them going back to Windsor. Once again, you have a handful of people that could possibly put future Windsor shows in jeopardy, because you still have a rabid fan base, because there is no other wrestling in that area. Like, BCW doesn't run that much. So that is the only, like, within 2-hour window wrestling promotion. So when Impact is there, they bring people. So I don't see, even without the association, them saying, well, let's forget that venue. I still think they'd go there probably at least once a year. So don't let the actions of a few ruin it for a lot of hardcore wrestling fans that then wouldn't get anything.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it looked like a great crowd too.
Yeah. No, for sure.
The place looked packed. Yeah. I don't know if there's seating like that on the opposite side. But,
based on how production and J-Bone, I know you've been to some shows, but anyone that's kind of been to almost any wrestling show that gets taped for TV, you obviously on the other side, you have the hard cam, so it's a lot less people. Like, there's not a full set of bleachers over there. There's just a couple. There's a handful of rows of seats, some standing room, but it's mainly kind of the platform with the cameras that are facing.
Okay.
So what you're seeing is the majority of the people, and then obviously on the ramp side and some on the opposite side, but just not a ton. I'd say roughly, my guess is about 800 people tonight, which, well, once again, it's a sellout. Like, that's, I think, what that building can hold.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is what we've seen from there before. So as long as they keep doing that for like these kind of shows that are like, the smaller tier in between bigger pay-per-view shows, that's perfect. Yeah. So yeah, all right, let's get into tonight's TNA Sacrifice. We start out on the pre-show. For those that saw the pre-show, we got Crazy Steve defending his Digital Media Championship against Joe Hendry, and there was an AJ Francis, the former Top Dollar, at ringside, so you knew there was going to be some kind of shenanigans going on.
Can we officially call him like the third commentator at this point? He's on commentary so much.
he's. I'll give him this. He does have the gift of gab.
Oh no, he's good
very
at it. He's good at it. But that is like a regular thing. It's like Ash sitting at ringside and AJ on commentary is very, very common. And that's another guy with a slow burn because he's been in one match. He's been on a lot of shows, a lot of TV time, but not really in the ring.
His build has been very slow. Diz, what did you think of Crazy Steve versus Joe Hendry?
I thought it was really, really, really good. This is the first time I've been introduced to TNA for a long time. I watched it with the Dixie Carter era and all that. So to see this first pay-per-view fresh was really, really good. The Crazy Steve and Joe Hendry was Hendry. Am I pronouncing that correctly? That was really, yeah. That was really. It was really good. Really good opening match.
Now, typically we get a fresh, number one hit on iTunes when Joe Hendry comes out to the ring, but I think
we got a little something.
Picture. We got we got the little is right. We got the baby pictures of Crazy Steve, which was funny. Bill, what is that?
What is I'm in Canada.
What is that?
It's poutine. It's French fry, gravy, and Jay's favorite, cheese curds.
Yes, sir.
Oh. Man, I'm gonna have to try that sometime. It's just the name is just weird.
That J-Bird.
It's what you're going to be doing after you eat that poutine.
or as Dr. Gerbs for us East Coasters, Canadian disco fries.
Canadian disco fries. There you go. I like that.
Disco.
Yeah, disco fries is kind of like the similar item that you get in diners in like Jersey, New York.
God. That's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, crazy Steve retains here, right?
Yes, no title change. But
I was flipping.
There was a reason. Shenanigans by AJ Francis.
The shenanigans from AJ Francis, which leads to a segment later where Joe Hendry's had about enough of AJ Francis and his shenanigans. So they're gonna have a match this coming Thursday. For those at the tapings, you'll see it live tomorrow. But yeah, so that'll be this Thursday on Access TV. Gia Miller backstage with the Rascalz and Maclin. Little dissension going on with Rascalz and Maclin. Maclin saying he's not going to come out with the Rascalz. And then Rascalz are kind of like, whatever, we don't need you.
Maybe they did. It was a tough night for all parties.
Yeah, this is true. Maybe a little camaraderie would have helped. So then next to the ring, we get the Rascalz versus Speedball Mountain, which is Speedball Mike Bailey and Trent Sabin. And for those of you who maybe have not seen it, earlier today on this channel was released an interview from Bison. He interviewed Speedball Mountain. He got a twofer, folks, and it was a great interview. Very proud of Bison for getting that interview. Make sure sometime this weekend in your free time, make sure you go back and check that out. Good stuff. Very proud.
Awesome.
But yeah, so what did you guys think of Rascalz versus Speedball Mountain?
Bill, you were there.
Yeah, this one I thought would be a pretty good match. Like, you got obviously the Rascalz, former champions, one of the better tag teams in the company. But Speedball Mountain, they're growing. They're growing on me. Like Speedball is obviously awesome as a singles guy. When he tagged with Gresham, that team worked. And then you got Trent, who we had, then he couldn't make it due to that the flight issue. So it kind of got all delayed slightly, but then back again. But it's starting to work. You're seeing, and now they're like matching. They got the towels. They kind of got their gimmick going. It wasn't said, but I almost looked at this match as a de facto future #1 contenders match. Like, I feel like whoever was going to win this match, because I was saying it during the pre-show, I was like, if we get Speedball Mountain, that's just confirming what I thought on the review last night, that the system was going over. Because then you got my guess is we're going to see Speedball Mountain challenge them in the near future. And I think that'll be a good match. Like they've been impressive. They've been impressive.
Yeah, they're gelling. They absolutely are. So would not be surprised at all if that hits TV. So yeah, Speedball Mountain gets the win here. Next is okay. So that's the pre-show. Now next is the main card, and we're starting out hot here. I did not expect this match to be first. I expected this to be down the line somewhere, but they really typically it's like X Division, something that starts out the show. Yeah. We started out here with Nic Nemeth versus Steve Maclin. Now,
well,
I know
you can answer a question for me, J-Bone, or maybe that's what you're just going to say, because my understanding of this match, it was going to be for that New Japan title.
Yeah,
it obviously wasn't.
He didn't come out with it.
He didn't even have the title. Did he just forget it? Did he leave it behind so it wasn't a title match anymore?
So yeah, it's because the promo that Nic Nemeth did from Japan made it sound like he was going to bring the title back and defend it at Sacrifice.
That's what it seemed like, unless we all misinterpreted it. I don't know if TNA actually put out any graphics saying it was for the title, or if we just all ran with that promo. And maybe that there wasn't an official clearance from New Japan on that.
There's got to be some kind of there's got to be some kind of communication between the two saying, hey, by the way, we want to help promote this championship that our guy has of yours, but obviously that didn't. And then it's not to say it won't happen on TV.
It could. Like there could be more of, I wasn't sure though if maybe commentary or something I missed being there live maybe was out there, but it doesn't seem like it.
I didn't hear anything about that. No.
Yeah. So we just ran with that promo, but my guess is they probably never really announced it. Yeah. Like hopefully they do that, because that seemed like, oh wow, we're having some kind of cross New Japan here where a title's being defended. It's like, well, that's pretty cool.
I love the fact that that these promotions here in the US are teaming up with New Japan and kind of recognizing them as a legitimate promotion. So, TNA, AEW, things like that. So that's I really dig it. Really dig it.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with a little cross promotion here. Kind of like what we're doing tonight with Dizzy on the show.
There you go.
And
synchronization.
There you go.
Dig it. Besides the technical issues, Diz, what did you think of the opening match here with Nic Nemeth versus Maclin? Well, I thought it was solid. I thought it was a hell of a way to kick off the show. Besides the audio and video glitches, what I saw was, first and foremost, it was really, really good to see Nic Nemeth back in TNA and back in the ring and where he belongs. I really dug the vignette where Maclin called him Dolph Ziggler. I thought that was really just a big, nice slap in the face. I loved it. I really got invested with this match, with that vignette, and I hadn't even watched it. I haven't even watched TNA programming for since Nic has returned. So I really, really, really loved this match. It was a hell of a match, and again, it was really good to see Dolph Ziggler back on TNA as Nic Nemeth. So it was a 10 out of 10 for me.
And he continued that whole thing. Like during the match, he was still like, Dolph, I mean Nick, while Maclin kind of beating on him. So like he was still playing that up, which was good to see. And just like a heads up, like, because I was obviously right across from Tom Hannafin and Matthew Raywald, they gave the match a standing ovation at the end, which they don't always do that. That happens maybe one match every couple tapings. That's not a regular occurrence. So they were very impressed with the match too, just as it was a very good match like that.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to think about it because I know there was, I think a couple, like there was definitely a couple standout matches for sure. And that's one of them. There's no doubt.
That should honestly, that match should have been at least middle card. That should have been middle card to me anyway, because that was a solid match.
Yeah, like I know we were talking about it. Once again, that's when I thought it could have been with the title, but it sounded like bad dirt sheet news from some of the commenters in the chat. Remember they were, I was kind of being like, you're spoiling it. But then that's what happens when you listen to dirt sheets.
Yeah.
But if that was for the title, that could have main evented the card if they wanted to. They've had the X Division main event, the Knockouts main event.
Yeah.
If you had a New Japan title, you would be fine with also main eventing that. So that they could have done that. But I get going first. Like, I know I'm gonna use the controversial Bully Ray, and he's a big believer. If you're not going on last, go on first. Set the pace.
There you go.
That definitely
follow that. Follow that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So this definitely did set the pace for the evening. Nic Nemeth gets a win here. I'll tell you though, the way the match went though, this could have went either way. Really could have. And because they were, I mean, this was a slow build. You know, they took their time building this. But Nick came out with a win here. Before we quick jump into the next stuff, I know there's a little talk out there about Steve Maclin's contract being up soon. Bill, did you catch that vibe from anyone in the crowd?
No, like I it depends. We'll see. Obviously, starting with the tapings, starting tomorrow, where they kind of track him storyline wise, that might be a little bit of a hint on what's happening with Steve. Because obviously, he was in like Nic Nemeth, your huge free agent signing, is his storyline right out of the bat is with Maclin. Pretty good spot. If he goes from that to something very low on the card, if anything, if they don't have anything official or close to official, they'd probably not want to put him in another huge storyline. But we'll kind of see if it seemed like the Rascalz after today, I guess, is that fizzled out or went up in a puff of smoke, if you will. So we'll see if that, we'll get an idea. Because I'm not sure. Like obviously Maclin's a former world champion. I think he gets a lot of good heat. You saw that tonight. He gets a lot of good heat.
Oh, yeah.
So we know in different feuds, he's really like when he went with PCO, did a great job. So I'd be in favor of keeping him. I think you can definitely do something with him. Obviously, what happened up north, I don't see him going back to WWE. I know everyone's going to jump on the AEW possibility just because Dion is there. But has that worked for anybody else? If your significant other's there, just to go there, just to maybe collect a paycheck? They never seem to use significant others. Like they hire one person and the other person just goes to catering.
I mean, Andrade just went back to WWE so he can be with Charlotte. So
Yeah, like I get it. Like that's just easy in life for people. But I think for him as somebody that wants to be a performer and be out there, unless there is just like, we'll just throw you money for no reason. It seems like here, or maybe even doing some of the stuff like you see Ali doing and Nic Nemeth doing. Like he showed up. He was following Nemeth to Puerto Rico. Like maybe he does more of that, become more of a international type guy.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
And that shows the strength of a story, especially when you got stuff like that happening. So we'll see. Maybe this isn't one and done. Maybe this feud is going to go on for a while. Who knows?
I hope it does.
See. Yeah. Gary Rossetti in the chat says Maclin wants to stay. I've heard that too. Hopefully, they can settle on something. I think TNA fans appreciate, it's fun to boo someone, but you appreciate somebody for their caliber of work, and he is a world champion worker. So,
and you also appreciate a storyline. If the wrestler can if two parties can carry a good storyline, the fans will speak up, and if the promotion of TNA is listening to the fans and they really want Maclin to stay, guess what? Maclin is going to stay. I don't think TNA is going to let him. I don't think TNA is going to let him go, especially if they know that he can be a draw.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We got Gia Miller backstage with the system talking about they are ready to get either get the gold and or retain all the gold tonight. Which leads us to our next match, the tag team titles on the line. ABC, the Ace and Bay Connection, but Bullet Club versus
new gear, new fresh gear.
Yeah,
the sign that you're going to lose, new fresh gear.
Gotta love it. The system, represented by Eddie Edwards and Myers.
And don't forget the most important part, and accompanied by Lish.
Yes. Can't forget Lish. Yes, always paying dividends at ringside for her team. Bill, what'd you think, man?
Well, this went according to plan, J-Bone.
I think it did.
Like we were talking about this felt like the big storyline. The system, and I know there were people in our chat that would be like, "Oh, they're not dominating, they're not doing this." Well, now you're seeing it. Now they're gathering all the gold. They're going to go in the rebellion as the super stable in the company right now. So it was, and I'm a huge ABC fan. I have history with them. I have selfie history with them during shows, but they had a great run. But the system with Moose as champion is the storyline right now. So it made sense for them to get the titles. And it is crazy because Eddie's first tag title run since Davey Richards all those years ago. So good to see him get gold. And Brian Myers, I guess he technically had something briefly with Cardona. Did they actually acquire real briefly for like 2 weeks? But then you have to go back to Global with Trevor Lee. So it's two really good hands as opposed to that team with the nickname of Good Hands. But these are two top worker guys in the company. So rewarding them in this storyline with the tag belts, I'm for it. But I do see there's a super sticker here from Super Rooster.
Super Rooster. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Says late in the chat, but I thought that Hammerstone looked great tonight. Enjoyed him as a heel. The We Won Scott chance died down with a banger match.
That's always the best recipe.
Was that during that match? Because I didn't even hear the chants.
I didn't really hear it during it. There was occasional muffling, like there would be like a chant for something. And then like it would like pierce in. People would try to kind of get it to overtake the chant, and usually it just would bomb out. So in that match, I don't think it ever really made it. But then the match right after that, because that's where I thought that was my like, okay, because we talked about this. Like something to be aware of is this coming up. And I thought Josh in a match, what we saw was in the six-man match with that's kind of where it came out, with Shelley being a very integral part with Sabin over there. So you could kind of tell what matches were probably going to have possible things that would pop up.
Okay.
But
yeah.
But yeah.
There's like a tie to the area or something like that.
Yeah. But no, I definitely will. I know we didn't get to the match yet, but Josh Hammerstone too, definitely as advertised. Now you got that rubber match, I'll assume, at Rebellion. But great to see Hammerstone once again under contract. Although at the end I had to yell at him because I'm like, shake the ropes. And he did. I'm like, that's your thing, man.
That's funny. It's funny.
Because he was posing with the headgear that he took as his victory.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was good.
That was really good.
Pointing at the biceps, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so yeah, they're in the chat, they're letting me know. So yeah, it's both long term. It is Myers has Trevor Lee. Yeah, that was the last time. So
okay.
Two guys that haven't held them for a long time. Like they teased, like I said, Eddie Sammy before Sammy's injury, they probably would have won tag titles. And I think if they would have kept Cardona beyond the handshake deal and got him under contract, I think the major players probably would have been tag champs. But didn't happen.
There you go. But yeah, so back to the tag team titles match. What'd you guys think of System taking the titles from ABC?
I thought it was a solid match. I mean, it was really, really good. Somebody in the chat, I just saw that I love how TNA is pushing the System to the top, and that's what I see TNA doing with the System. They're giving them a big push. It's definitely what they need. So I thought it was a really, really stellar tag team match, and congratulations to the System for the win.
Right, and it's one of those things where they've been kind of gelling for a while, and ever since Moose became champion, it's like, okay, now it's really a thing now. This isn't gonna end next week.
Yeah, give them the gold, give them all the gold, make them a power faction, if you will, or stable.
Right.
Yeah, having that huge heel stable with all the gold. That's classic wrestling right there. Classic wrestling.
Classic wrestling, yeah.
Just coming down to the ring and everybody's swinging their belts around,
Yep.
Look at us.
We're on top.
That's right. Check it out. Following this, we had No DQ, Khan versus PCO. Quite the mess of a match, but man, if you're a fan of PCO and what he can dish out and what he can take as a performer, then you probably love this match.
Yeah.
Now, when I was talking to Dizzy the other day, he was we were chatting back and forth while he was watching he was watching Thursday night show.
Yeah, it was the go home show.
Right. And it's like, hey, what do you think of PCO? And he's like, I just don't like this. I just don't like
I have a problem when people are just way too gimmicky. And when he came out with the doctors and they shocked him to life and as like a Frankenstein, I thought, okay, come on. Are we back in the Vince McMahon era? Are we going to go gobbledygooker next? I mean, seriously, what is this? Is this Halloween, Halloween Havoc? That would have been great on WCW Halloween Havoc, but tonight really changed my mind on PCO and Convert. First and foremost, it was a heavy hitter match. I mean, it was a no DQ match. Anything goes. And the 2-3 different times outside of the ring on top of the stage or the entrance ramp when Khan chokeslam PCO like 2 or 3 times. I thought, okay, PCO can definitely take a beating. He can take a beating, and for a heavy hitter match. I thought it was really, really good. Yeah, no, that man is not human at all. He is not human. Anybody that can take that kind of brutality is not human. But it was a good match. I really enjoyed it. I think it was the match that made people go ooh ah, you know. It was cool. I enjoyed it.
This is actually a pretty light workload for PCO. We've seen him do some crazy, like, top rope stuff to the outside where he's doing swantons through tables, and
you almost take it for granted, like PCO kind of doing his crazy stuff. But and once again, PCO did not disappoint. Like everything on the stage there, as Dizzy was saying, like that stuff was fantastic. The stage stuff. And there was a spot at ringside, because I can see it obviously very well, and I've seen Khan do this before. PCO went short on one of his moves, and Khan got him. Like, Khan doesn't catch him there. That could be a bad spill for PCO. Like, PCO could have really regretted that one. So Khan, like, at the end, myself, people around me, like, we were giving it up for Khan after the match. Like, Khan was very impressive tonight, and I know you've always been a big Khan guy, J-Bone.
I love Khan.
I thought this style match obviously is perfect for Khan. So, like, this was a good fit for him.
So, Bill, let me ask you this: when Khan got the microphone and he started cutting his promo and just said, "Hey, PCO, get out here," and the arena went dark. What J-Bone and I saw was absolutely pitch black. Did you see absolutely pitch black in the arena too?
It's pretty dark. I'll say this: when I grew up in the ECW arena as a kid, when it goes pitch black, I know to look at the ring. Mm-hmm. But like the guy behind me was still looking up at the entrance ramp as the light went on. I was looking in the ring, so I could tll right before the lights went on that PCO was in the ring. So like it's not pitch black, but it's pretty dark. Yeah. Like he obviously can walk right by people and they not even know it. Like it has to be where your perspective is and where you're looking. And that's just because every time lights go out, I always look to the center of the ring. I don't look anywhere else. Right. So if somebody cuts in viewpoint, even if it's pretty dark, I'll be like, it's somebody. Can I recognize them? Maybe, maybe not.
Because it took him a while.
Silhouette,
yeah. Because it took him a while for him to get into the ring.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's depending on who it is, it can definitely be a longer darkness for.
Yeah, I mean, PCO's not a very slim person, but so he probably struggled to get out from wherever he was. So,
that's ask him to do a lot. He's done that quite a few times over his run. Like if he's not being resuscitated by the doctors, his old. Pretty much his indie gimmick with Destro, which they are still doing. It's a car battery. It was like a car battery gimmick. Trying to almost kind of be the Undertaker on the indies. Is kind of like how he kind of revived himself.
I will say that I definitely enjoyed not seeing the doctors revive him on the pay-per-view. I enjoyed that. So thank you, PCL. Appreciate it.
Yeah, like if they're going to do that. It feels like maybe that's a thing you do occasionally. Like I think it's a nice mix not to always have that. Yeah, like maybe if you're doing a storyline like where he did do it with Khan, where like he broke his neck twice, like type thing. Maybe he should be revived the next time he comes out. But if he like comes up victorious, he shouldn't have that entrance the next time. Like, why is he dead again?
Yeah, right. Does he just like power down every night after a match? You know.
Why is there just a head at the top of the ramp? What's going on here?
he's like an AI bot. He's like, oh, it's match time.
Yeah, right. It's like J-Bone with podcasting. They just turn them on.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right. So my wife gets me out of bed. She just throws a couple votes in me. Okay.
No, sure. Is that what they call it? A couple volts, folks. A couple volts.
Yes, of course. Oh man. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. PCO gets the win here. I don't know if this continues between them. We'll have to see. I'm still waiting for Khan's former tag team partner, partner in crime, to show up one of these days.
Revive the bone.
Shut up, Zack.
Well, now that we've had both the PCO match and we talked about Maclin earlier, and I know I referenced it, but Critical Sting saying I think Dizzy needs to see the PCO Maclin match. If you want to see like an old school hardcore kind of bloodbath match,
I love bloodbath.
It is.
That would be one to check out. Like that's kind of.
It is.
I'm putting that on my list.
Yeah, like that. If you want Steve Maclin and then not with all the gimmick PCO, just a hardcore PCO, that probably is the best match to see.
I'm not sure if that one's on YouTube. It might be too much, but that is a fun one.
Yeah, if J-Bone put that graphic on YouTube, it would get taken down.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah. Oh, here's the black and white version. Nope, still didn't work. So, we discussed this earlier. AJ Francis backstage with Hendry, a little pushing, a little shoving, breaks out. Santino comes out there. Now hold on, summon a gun. You guys are gonna have a match on a Thursday night.
Oh, it was good to see him on that old gimmick. I loved it.
I love Santino.
Oh, it was great.
Still wearing a badge. The director of Authority. Next we got the
TNA Knockouts.
Writing. Yes, Knockouts. I put Knockouts title. No, it's the Knockouts tag team title.
Tag title.
Yeah.
So yeah, I botched my notes. So now this is interesting. Now this match was short but sweet. We kind of had a feeling discussing this on Thursday that this might happen.
We were Nostradamus, J-Bone. Both tag titles predicted to be the titles to change hand, and they did.
Right. Because Jody Threat being from Canada, kind of
Spitfires. They got a team name. It was in the bag then.
Right. They had matching gear, not matching hair, but matching gear.
Right.
They are the Spitfires, and it was like, oh, cool, they got a name now. So it's not just Jody Threat and Dani Luna. So it's really cool that they're giving Dani Luna a chance to like be her own person apart from Subculture and that faction, So I'm sure they're going to show up again someday. As far as that tag team of
I still think they're going to show up soon. I wouldn't be surprised if they are here in the taping block pretty soon. We'll see.
I can't think of the guys' names. Webster,
Flash Morgan Webster, and Mark Andrews. Mandrews,
that's it.
You like to call him.
Mandrews, yes, yeah, Webster and Mandrews. So yeah, it's great to see Dani Luna really break out and have this team that's not just a tag team. Some tag teams are just destined to lose. Not this team. This team has way too much to give. what'd you guys think of Spitfire versus the Knockouts tag title holders MK Ultra?
Bill, you want to take it?
Well, this one was obviously it didn't start for a while because Dani pretty much gets taken out because both of them kind of get beat down by MK Ultra before the match.
Yeah,
so
right.
It was a rough start. Yeah,
we haven't said it yet, but an interesting aspect of tonight, the return of Ref Allison, along with Ref Page, two female refs, 4 refs. So what am I saying early on during this show? We're going to get a ref bump. We got 4 tonight. But so obviously pretty much it started out as a handicap match. It was just Jody. Happy birthday, Jody Thread. And she's going pretty much 2-on-1. And once again, that the last 2 weeks, they both beat the 2 members of MK Ultra. This was all the storyline set up for this match where they beat them both. They tried to take them out, and pretty much Jody pretty much beat them by herself. Like she pretty much won the tag titles by herself. Like Dani came in at the end, like the end, but for the most part, it was Jody the whole time. So
yeah, she went nuts on them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I certainly popped when MK Ultra just ran out there without their entrance music and just attacked Spitfire. And then I was chatting with J-Bone, and MK Ultra started pulling out the chains and choking them, and they're dragging them with the chains. I legitimately popped when that happened. I'm like, oh my God, this is so freaking cool.
Right.
Like, this is so freaking awesome. This was a hell of a match. I think as far as the women's division goes, man, MK Ultra and Spitfire just definitely helped build up that division. You know, Jordan Grace in that triple threat match was really, really good too. But this deserves, 10 stars out of 10. This was a fire. It was short, yeah, but it was really just brutal, and it was really I've never seen a women's match that damn brutal. Honestly, it was good. It was really good.
Yeah. The fact that it ended so fast was like it left you wanting more, but it ended on such a surprise. It was like, whoa, what? And it's like you wanted like the hometown kid to win. Jody Threat. You wanted her to win with Dani Luna, and but. This is wrestling. You can't assume nothing. You can sit there and you can predict stuff all you want. You don't know,
right?
So yeah, it was nice to see them win, and then the reaction of MK Ultra after the match, like what?
Yes.
We lost?
The shove.
What? Yeah. Masha just she's. If you're on her good side, good things will happen. But man, you piss off
you'll
Masha.
Be put on a chain.
You
right.
Piss off Masha, man. That Russian accent comes out, and poof, you better watch yourself.
David's still thinking about his interview with Masha.
I am. I had nightmares for weeks. No, I'm kidding. No, she was great. She was great.
Even with the shove, though, that brought up, are MK Ultra going to split? Are they going to break up?
There's a few angles right now in TNA where it looks like our team's splitting, and now MK Ultra is in that mix. Like it's Alex Shelley and everybody. It's MK Ultra. Like there's a lot. Like pretty much a team loses. Like nobody gets along after anyone loses these days. No one can take the L.
You're right.
Right. So it makes you want to, unless you're like just old school, die hard, boo the bad guys. Oh, they split up. Who cares? Whatever. Next. But if you're a fan of MK Ultra, you're like, oh man, then you definitely are going to tune in and find out what happens next. You know.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but man, if this is it for MK Ultra, it's been a hell of a run. Two class act, crazy hard hitting women, great tag team. Love, love.
It's a hell of a match.
Well, so we have new knockouts tag team champions, Spitfire. So happy for them. And then we roll right away into the next one. We got match number 2 out of these guys. Hammerstone now under contract with TNA. A lot of fans, including, I'd say, most of the people from this crew, are very excited about this versus someone who I guess would be considered the hometown hero, Josh Alexander. Bill, what'd you think of Hammerstone's technical TNA roster debut?
I know. I've been a big Hammerstone guy in MLW, so seeing now him full time here, fantastic. I think he's a main event talent. So going against Josh, we saw once, good one to go back to. But now this surprised me. The crowd at the beginning, a lot of Hammerstone fans in that crowd.
Yeah.
A shocking amount of Hammerstone fans. I wouldn't say it was quite 50-50, but it was about 60-40, Josh. Like I was expecting it to be like 99.9%, Josh. So that there was that many Hammerstone fans was my first surprise of the evening. But then Hammerstone kind of played away like he was doing like his like too cool for school act at times during the match, where like trying to get a little more heat here and there, trying to work the crowd for cheers, like his MLW shtick, like his Hogan-esque material.
Oh yeah.
But no, I thought once again, Josh, one of the best workers in the company. I thought Hammerstone was right there with him. And I think we talked about this the other night. This was going to be a Hammerstone win if we can get that rubber match at Rebellion. And it's just how heel would he go in the match? Yeah. So you get the low blow, you get he got into it, taking the headgear. That's like taking a luchador's mask. Like he went there with him. So I'm sure there's going to be some fallout where Josh is going to kind of question his professionalism, and it will lead into this big third match. But no, I like it. I'm a fan of it. Heel Hammerstone because I think you'll see him go back and forth like he has been. I think he does both pretty well, the heel and the ultra baby face. But starting him out as a heel is probably a good thing, because other than the system up in that higher card, you really don't have like that's your heels. So it's a lot of baby faces. So I think that's a good move with him right now.
Yeah, and even if he isn't like full blown heel, it just shows that he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. Like, hey, I picked this place, or you guys picked me, and let me show you what I'm all about, you know? So very excited for this. Then I'll tell you one thing, Diz, we'll get to you in a second.
Yeah.
Talking about this crowd, man, I noticed like partway, about a third to halfway through the match, the crowd went dead quiet. They were, I took it as they weren't sitting on their hands bored. They were shocked at how much Hammerstone was clobbering the shit out of Josh. I mean,
there was some shots like when they were matching the chops with the like kind of the punches and the forearms. Like they were like it was some stiff shots right there.
Oh, and just going after the leg, and all the way to the end where the the finisher and the headgear popped off, was like, oh, dude, that's a nail in the freaking coffin right there. I tell you what was fun was while I was watching this match was Diz and I were going back and forth, and Diz, your reaction to watching Josh Alexander, can you tell the audience, like what did you think about him? I mean, it's one thing to be all right, yeah, Hammerstone's a big ass beefy monster, but Josh is more of a technical beast. What'd you think, man?
Josh, honestly, I thought Josh carried the match very well. I thought he carried it for Hammerstone. He sold very well. He took the shots very well. He got beat up very well. Josh, to me, it looked like he has a lot of Greco wrestling background when I watched him doing the suplexes and just the way that he maneuvered himself in the ring. He mixes the Greco style wrestling with the modern style of wrestling. And that is something that I really, really, really liked about Josh Alexander. This is the first match I've ever seen Josh Alexander in, and this is the first match I've ever seen Hammerstone in. But I thought Josh Alexander really carried the match. I thought he really made Hammerstone look strong. Was it a good match? Yeah, it was. There were some problems that I had with it, and I'm probably not going to be a fan favorite for this, but one of them, as J-Bone just mentioned, that it got dead quiet when those two were just taking shot after shot after shot. The audience was just like, whoa. And you could hear in the ring between Hammerstone and Alexander the audible calls. And that's one thing that I'm just like, I'm not a fan of, and I lived with John Cena and all that. Just audible calling just annoys me. Be discreet about it. I understand that they only had 800 people. I get it. And I understand that the crowd was quiet because they were trying to focus on the match and listen to the shots. But, as a professional, don't do the audible calls, man. And there were a couple of spots that Hammerstone kind of botched, particularly when he went through the ropes and he just hung there and Josh Alexander kicked him. I think Hammerstone was just waiting like, hey, Josh, kick me. I thought that could have been maneuvered a little better, but for what it was a good match. I mean, this was Hammerstone Alexander 2. I didn't see 1. I want to. But
that's
I thought,
good.
yeah. And somebody said, Josh versus Hammerstone 3 in a cage. I think that would be epic. And I don't know who the first person to win was and won. I don't know who won, if it was Alexander.
Oh, yeah, Josh. Yeah, Josh won the first. So now it's even.
Yeah, so now it's even now. So let's do 3. Let's do 3 in a cage and let's make it big, man. Let's do it on maybe the biggest stage of them all. Whatever. I know Slammiversary is I don't even know how long ago. I don't even know how long Slammiversary is until we have another one. But
middle of the summer. So after the next big pay-per-view will be Rebellion in mid-April, and it'll be probably July.
So we're getting there. There's a good timeline to build this up to really put the heat on this match for Hammerstone Alexander 3. I think it has a lot of possibilities. I mean, especially with what I saw tonight. It was a good match. It was a really, really good match. And man, props to Josh Alexander, and honestly, props to Hammerstone too. He plays a damn good heel. He's a freaking amazing heel. I love that he just toys with the crowd. I love Hammerstone and how he looks at the camera, just pissed off, just menacingly. And Alexander plays a really, really good baby face. And it was a good match. I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10. But it was a good match.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. That's pretty good.
Although, J-Bone, as a fan of Hammerstone over time, when he first came out, I'm like, is that Hammerstone or is that my accountant with that haircut?
Oh,
It's like I have a day job where I have my new contract. I'm getting cleaned up because normally he's a little more with the scruffy hair. So he was all trimmed
He's all
up.
corporate.
he was
He was
all
buzzed. Corporate hammer.
Yeah, corporate hammer.
Time to wear a suit that doesn't fit.
There you go. There you go.
By day he's corporate. By night he's Hammerstone.
He raises the hammer.
By day he raises the pin. By night he raises the stone.
Yeah. Oh god. But yeah, great way to continue this feud. Now that Hammerstone's under contract, we'll see what's next. Can't wait. Gia Miller backstage talking to Time Machine, getting ready for their match, the 3-on-3, asking if everybody's on the same page still. You can cut that tense feeling with a knife. Kushida's like, I'm not going to apologize. I felt like I did the right thing. And Chris Sabin agreed. He's like, look, sometimes you got to make the tough decisions, and not everyone's always going to be on the same page. He's like, but we're all still brothers, aren't we? And Alex Shelley just goes, yep. So it's like, yeah, and I don't feel. And then like coming out, they're not coming out together. Alex Shelley is like, let's go. We got stuff to do. Oh, you want a fist bump? Okay, fist bump. Fine, whatever. Let's get to the ring.
Yeah.
Yep. Alex Shelley, happier times there. But yeah, so then they're coming down to the ring. We got Time Machine, Kushida and Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley.
But Shelley wouldn't even let him pose, Jabo.
Right. He's like, just let's go. Let's do this.
Kushida's about to check his watch, and Sabin's about to do his pose.
Yeah, he just walked.
Like,
He's
come
like,
on, get out of here.
Wrap this crap up. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do this. No time for no lollygagging. And then we got the grizzled young vets. I love these guys. I love what they're doing in TNA. Tremendous addition to the tag team division. But tonight they're backing up Mustafa Ali, the X Division Championship. So no belts on the line. This is more just kind of bragging rights,
Yeah. Who do you align with?
Yeah. And and we didn't think we were going to get the good hands. We were wrong about that one.
Oh yeah, we did get the good hands, but they came as a team because we talked about the whole teams maybe breaking up. We thought after last night maybe the good hands were breaking up. I'm waiting for the day Jason Hotch, Janetti's, Skyler, like soon, please.
Oh, that's gotta happen. That's gotta happen. That's because it's like Skyler is a great veteran, but Jason Hotch is the future of the company, and he just keeps getting better and better. It's baby steps with him, which is fine. I'm good with that. Take the baby steps.
They
as long
gave
as there's
the tease, but after tonight, it seems like they're back on the same page with Ali, even if they did get replaced in their own match.
They're trying. They're trying like hell to back up Ali and like to be noticed, but they're still like way in the back. Like, hi, we're here. But so yeah, a lot of tense moments in this. But man, some of the best action you're going to see in this whole damn show. What'd you guys think of Time Machine versus Grizzled Young Vets and Ali?
I really, really I thought this was match one of the night. I really did. I watched Mustafa Ali on Thursday, and I love his gimmick. I love it. I just love it. I'm sold on Ali. So and then tonight the Time Machine and their possible the friction in Time Machine is just really, it's captivating to me, because it's like, wow, I just started watching this and you guys are already breaking up. What's going on? Build it up. But I understand I'm new to it. So, but it's cool to see. It was really cool to see this match. Again, I thought it was match 1 of the night. Obviously, match 2, we'll get to that. But I just really, really loved it. This was just it was, as good old JR says, it was a big old slobber knocker. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you had the intensity of the tag teams, and you still had that X division clash between, say, you saw some between Kushida and Ali, and you also saw it between Sabin and Ali. Sabin, of course, former X Division champion who lost to Ali, and just a few weeks ago. So that those wounds are still fresh.
I will say this. I hate Kushida's hair. It looks like he got into a fight with his barber. I'm just saying, and the barber won. Like, I mean, I've never seen it. Really, it looks like I don't know. It looks like a corn thresher just ran through it, And
have you ever seen Minoru Suzuki's hair?
Oh no, I have not. No, is it worse?
If you want to trip for that style, then you will enjoy that.
Is that the style?
The murder grandpa, and I'm not talking about J-Bone.
Is that the style they're going for in Japan?
I think it is. I think it is more of a common style over there.
Because I mean, I've seen wrestlers on like AEW or WWE have the longer hair. The common normal wrestlers' hair where it's just long, and some of them is shorter. More groomed, but. Kushida, like, what the hell, man? It's you really look like you got into a fight with a weed whacker, man.
Although to be equal, I know for a while Eddie Edwards had a similar haircut.
Yeah, that's true.
Even when he was doing his dreads.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're gonna open up this. We're gonna open up this picture. You guys keep going. I'm gonna open up this picture here.
Yeah, but Bill, what were your thoughts on the match?
No, I thought that once they put the Grizzled Young Vets in there, I knew, like, obviously talent wise, Time Machine, Ali, and Grizzled Young Vets. You got 6 of the best currently doing it in there, so you're going to get a good match. You have the storyline with Time Machine that's a little dicey. So it made sense how we were going to see this, but I'm with you. When there were a handful of matches, there you go.
Oh yeah, him. My God, yes.
But he's murdered grandpa. He does what he wants.
He looks like I mean, honestly, his hairstyle looks like Bam Bam Bigelow.
Except
I think that's at the end of a match, so it's kind of like now, like it's a little like all over. But when he comes out and it's all tight at the beginning, like that's where he's like in his like warrior pose.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. It's gorgeous.
So speaking of someone that looks like they could use a little Manscaped, we want to thank our sponsor, Manscaped, and you can get a tremendous deal by going to manscaped.com. And well, you know what? We'll let our buddy Kyle. He says it so eloquently. We're gonna. Kyle, you want to talk to the folks here about Manscaped?
I'm hung like a peanut compared to that guy.
Okay, but talk about the sponsor. talk about the sponsor. Thank you very much.
I'm here to tell you people about Manscaped. See, when you're a card-carrying member of the Peanut Club, presentation is everything. In my opinion, with a clean shave, you can turn that cocktail frank into bun length. That's right, folks. Kiss your Vienna sausage goodbye and upgrade your grooming habits with Manscaped. And guess what, folks? We got a special deal for the TNI fam. Get 20% off and free shipping when you use our promo code TNI at manscaped.com. That's right, folks. 20% off and free shipping when you use our promo code TNI at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
I couldn't have said that any better myself, man. That was perfect.
Yeah, and that's why we play it, because it doesn't get much better.
Heck is better with time, man. That age is like fine wine. I'm telling you.
It does. Well,
speaking of fine wine, we didn't have that, but we had some $8,000 bottles of champagne coming up.
Ooh,
yes. That is well, if we didn't say it, the Grizzled Young Vets and Mustafa Ali got the win here, as tension is brewing in Time Machine. But yes, next is definitely one of the highlights of the show, the Knockouts World Title match. Jordan Grace defending her Knockouts Championship versus Tasha Steelz and Zaya Brookside. But if that's not all, no, but wait, there's more. Ash by Elegance, Ash by Elegance is at ringside, planted just mere inches away from Front Row Bill.
There we go. I gotta remember where my camera's pointed. Like, not J-Bone, damn it, him.
Oh, I wish he was planted by me. So yeah, that's what we were joking about earlier in the show. The fact that she was put there with the concierge.
Bill, you were kind of to go. I'm sorry, J-Bone, but I was just gonna say I was watching as Ash was walking down the ramp and admiring her fellow fans, and Bill, you were popping pretty hard for her, brother.
Oh yeah, I've been on the Ash bandwagon from the get go. First of all, if it involves the Iceman, friend of the show, George Iceman, that's already a win. But then when you get one of the biggest free agents that was available to come in under this gimmick, and I'm always a fan of this kind of gimmick. Back to the Rick Rudes, the Mr. Perfects.
Yeah,
Ash by Elegance, they're like the just a better version than anything else currently out there. That's perfect. Mm-hmm. I'm fine. The $8,000 bottles of champagne, she can throw them on me any day.
I love it.
Yeah, it's like a female version of almost like Ric Flair, between like Ric Flair and Rick Rude.
Woo!
Yeah,
styling and profiling.
That's right.
Jet flying, just stealing, wheeling, dealing.
Ooh, oh boy.
Hey, ain't even kiss stealing. Hey, what's going on?
But yeah, we had some laughs here talking about Ash at ringside. But what did you guys think about the match that was going on in the ring? Grace versus Steelz.
Good match. Like this one kind of had it all. And when you get kind of a three-way match, you never really know what you're going to get sometimes. But it's funny because even like being there with Ash, it was kind of like she was doing her gimmick, but yet she was even like, she's like, oh, that's good. Like, oh, I like that. Like she was actually watching the match too. But I'll tell you, I think we may have even though I think we all liked Zaya starting, she's just getting more impressive every time we see her. Like, I think we were like, the rumblings were that she was probably green, and like they came right out and said like 3-year contract, probably going to slow build her. It's been the complete opposite. She's in title matches. She's holding her own. Very impressive show by Zaya in this match for sure. But Jordynne Grace is right up there right now with one of the best, not only female, but wrestlers in the world right now. And she shows it because out of nowhere, she can just dominate with her, that finisher. Like that's just, like, it looks like none of these women are going to ever get up when they get that move on them. And she can dominate. That's why her and Ash, you're going to get two in the ring like that. That's going to look like a hell of a fight. Just like we were talking about the other night, like a free agent like Camille would also be somebody that would be another imposing figure to go against someone like Jordynne, because it's really tough to go who could beat Jordynne right now. She seems so dominant. Yeah.
This was match number 2 of the night. This was so good. First, I love Zaya Brookside. I think she's a phenomenal wrestler, but I love her entrance music even more. And then you had Tasha Steelz, and then Jordynne Grace stole the show. It was she's just so good in the ring. This was a really, really good match. The Tasha Steelz bumping into Ash and spilling the $8,000 glass of champagne, and it was really, really. It was good, man. This was a really good match. I see with that interaction tonight with Ash at ringside, I'm going to call it. I'm going to say next pay-per-view, we're probably, I hope we see Jordynne Grace and Ash go head to head for the title. That would be really, really cool to see.
I think it's going to happen sooner than later. Now, typically, and I've talked about this before, that I'm not a fan of people just 99% of the time when people just come in from another company and boom, get the title. Now there's opportunities and there's moments like where I'm a big fan of Mustafa Ali, came in, debut, boom, X Division champion. I'm okay with that because number one, I'm a big fan. Number two, this is a guy that you don't want to sleep on. He is always going to be entertaining. Number two, I love the gimmick. So it's just going to add to the company all around 100%. Ash by Elegance comes in, and it's been a very opposite slow build. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, especially from a brand where they always bring in people from other companies, and boom, they're the big bad guy or the new kid in town. And oh, by the way, here's a title. It's like, no, come on. So I'm glad what they're doing with Ash is perfect. Build the character. You grow to hate her, or love her. It's a little bit of both. I think. Right. It's fun to boo her. But, you appreciate where she came from. You appreciate the talent. You appreciate the gimmick, especially with the concierge. But it's a slow build, and that's the way it should be. It's perfect.
And you hit the nail right on the head, man. It's something that we didn't get to see when Ronda Rousey came to WWE. When Ronda came in, they pretty much gave her the belt, like they handed it to her. She never got to build her character up, and we never really got to experience what Ronda Rousey was all about. We never got to see her claw her way to the top, and what the way that they're pushing Ash by Elegance, this is really, really classic. I like it. I really dig how they're pushing Ash. So I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to see what she can do.
Yeah. So, and when you got a multi-time former champ in like Tasha Steelz, like I said, you can assume all you want. Don't assume with wrestling, because I
Yeah,
guarantee you're going to get.
it looked like Tasha may have had a busted nose by the end of that match.
Well-
Knowing how heavy these gals go or how hard they go, I'm not surprised.
And let me just say something real quick. Bell's boy in the comments said she doesn't look believable to me. Sorry. That's okay. That's really okay. Let her build her character as she needs to build it, and she'll build it. She'll get there. She'll be believable. But let her. We're only seeing the early stages of Ash. We're going to see more, and we're going to see better, and we're going to let her build herself up. It takes time, and when you have this slow but steady push, that's what you need. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see errors. You're going to see problems. You're going to see this and that. And this is how they develop their characters. So she'll get there, but it just takes time.
Yeah. So look, it's like we can all have our opinions, we can all have our favorites. Just be respectful of each other. That's all we ask for.
Yeah.
Don't get nasty. This is wrestling, for crying out loud. Let's be adults about it. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
So Jordan Grace retains here, and we'll see where the knockouts division goes from here. Certainly a lot of ladies in waiting. Main event time, TNA World Championship. Look at that. They're agreeing with you, Diz. That's awesome. Moose defending. Moose defending against Eric Young. Definitely one of my favorite matches on the card.
Match 3.
And it's especially after all was said and done, because man, they told a hell of a story. And there was a couple moments there you really felt like Eric being, at home, or at least in his home country, was going to take it. It's like, that's why I said, it felt like the system was going to take all the gold tonight. I tell you, partway through this match, I didn't believe it. So much fun. System gets involved. Moose retains. What did you guys think of this match? It was a hell of a main event.
First time ever.
Yeah, Bill, you were there. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, no, first, obviously, two guys that kind of missed paths, but have been longtime members of the roster at different times in their own careers. But it made sense for EY to get this title match here. Obviously, he even cut a promo after the show. Like, he was born in a hospital 15 minutes from that building. So definitely a local boy. And even though great match, good storytelling, a lot of finishes, which you see in a lot of wrestling companies, you don't usually see that. I'm not going to say that's something you see normally in TNA, is like multiple finishers from each guy. Like that's not usually a norm, but tonight it was. And I got to give extra because there was, we've been kind of saying there was the Scott stuff that was kind of going on here and there throughout the show. And this was, I think everybody knew, main event. Like this was going to be obviously another time where you could see something going on. And there definitely was that here and there. But I got to give a lot of credit to the Moose, who, once again, one of the tightest people, the one that went kind of radio silent right when the Scott D'Amore news hit. So obviously he was shocked. He was upset by it, but he's a professional. He gave plenty of interviews. He's like, hey, he's moving on. He was an NFL player. He gets it. It's business. And that's kind of, I know the fans don't want to hear that, but that is what it is. And when you go into business for yourself, you're not helping the guys there now. You're hurting them. And for him, every time he heard anything, like when there was chants started, when people would say something, he just went right after them. Like he approached individuals and just started picking them out to give them heat, just to go heel on them. So good way deflected. But once again, it'd be like, it's definitely in top 2 matches probably for me tonight, because of the story they told and with everything going on, just seeing how they adapted. And EY always knocks it out of the park too. But now we see kind of the system coming together. System works. Trust the system.
Yeah. And that's what we saw tonight. We saw the system. It worked. You know?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I've been a fan of Eric Young since I started watching TNA. I believe it was around 2003, 2004, somewhere around there. And EY is just so good. And this is my first encounter with Moose. And tonight, this is the reason why I say match of the night number 3. I was always a big fan of Scott Hall growing up, WCW, WWF, Razor Ramon. And when Moose was walking around the ring down near the apron and interacting with the fans, I saw Scott Hall. I saw that. That is what it seems to me that Moose is just embodying a lot of the classic wrestlers that he grew up to. And I did see a lot of Scott Hall influence in that, in his character. So that was really, really good. Somebody else just said he's up there with Roman, you know, interacting with the fans and the crowd, and not afraid to get nitty gritty with them, you know. And that's what a good heel. That's what a good heel is supposed to do. He's supposed to get into their face. He's supposed to piss off the fans, and the fans are supposed to give it right back. And that Moose is just so freaking good at what he does, at being a heel. And this was match number 3 of the night, not only for him being, you know, the heel character, but the technical wrestling. I mean, we saw how many finishers did we see tonight? It was just incredible, the amount of finishers that we saw tonight. And you don't, and like Bill said, you don't see that in TNA. You see that in AEW, or you see that in WWE. You don't really see that in this company, and that's good, because, you know, you're really starting to branch out. You're really starting to build this company into something bigger, into something better, and giving those memorable matches like what we had with TNA when they first started. And that is what I love about this company so much, is that we're getting back to the basics of wrestling. We really are with this company. So as far as this match goes, match of the night number 3, 10 out of 10. I mean, shit, I'll even give it a 20 out of 20. It was just so good. And then when the system came down to interfere, that was a really good spot. Eric Young did a fantastic job beating them up, and at the end of the night, you know, we'll I'm sure J-Bone will touch on that, but it was really, really good. It made me pop, honestly. So yeah, it was super good.
Yeah, I love Moose's spear. You know, there's a lot of different spears in the business. Rhino's got his, Edge has his, and there's
Goldberg has his.
Roman's got his, so, and they're all a little different. You know, I always appreciated Moose's like follow through. It's almost like a rolling through your opponent, you know. So it's not just the shoulder, you're getting the whole, almost like a mid-ring cannonball effect, you know.
Right.
But yeah,
and this is one handful of a clean finish spear by Moose that he didn't get a pin victory, because Eric Young kicks out of that spear in the first spear, and it was clean as hell. And then he had the look like, what?
Right.
Out of 3 count?
Which which made you think, hey, maybe this is Eric's night to get it again in his hometown. Yeah, it's,
I thought he was going to get it.
You put that moment of doubt. I think we all did for a little bit. Yeah. And that's one of the greatest things about it. And going off track here for a minute, I noticed there was a gentleman at ringside, probably just opposite of you, Bill, right on the other side of the ring, opposite from where you were sitting. There was a man in a Green Bay Packers jersey, number 92.
Reggie White.
Reggie White.
Philadelphia
piece of Reggie White. What's that?
Philadelphia Eagle legend, Reggie White.
Yeah.
Hey, I have no dog in this fight.
Jacob, do you know the story of why Reggie White went to play for the Packers?
I don't. I just appreciate him for what he brought to the team.
He had an infamous quote. God told him to play for the Green Bay Packers.
Let's be honest. He went for the cheese.
Well, yeah, that's 100%. And when we say cheese, we mean a whole lot of money.
A whole lot of cheddar.
A whole lot of cheddar. Let me
not those cheese heads.
Oh no, never the cheese. Never the cheese.
The old footage of Reggie White running around with the Lombardi Trophy after they won with Brett Favre that year, and that's I think it was 96. I want to say. Man, that those images are engraved in my mind forever. And that team was so special. Even controversial figures like Andre Rison, who came in and
how can you say just Andre Rison and not his nickname? Come on, J-Bo. It's Andre Bad Moon Rison.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we know we know the controversy and he had with little Miss Left Eye. So, but anyways, So I had to point out that guy sitting front row. Because Bruce was giving it to him pretty good.
Well, he was acting up. He was acting the fool.
Yeah. I'm just ready to watch another TNA PLE and see somebody in a Chiefs jersey. I'm just saying. There
you go, man. There you go.
Super Bowl champs, baby.
So yeah,
just just like tonight, if you go Moose sucks, like one guy goes to Moose sucks, he's gonna hit your raid with your mom sucks.
Mom
he's quick. He's quick, that Moose.
Yes. Right. And Bill, he'll be like, yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people there are like, yeah, tell Moose.
And that's what I'd be like. I'd be like, yeah, what he said.
Yeah. We all agree.
We're the fan. No, Moose. Moose was better.
So, well, I'm glad, and I know we were running a little late tonight, but I'm glad we could get Bill on the road in here for his thoughts on the show. And from being at the show, that's always something special that we like to bring you guys. And thank you, Dizzy, for joining. Number one, I'm glad you're feeling better. Number two, brother, we'll be talking some stuff tomorrow afternoon, a bunch of different topics. Aside from TNA, I mean, we talk a little TNA, we talk a little bit of everything, but it's just news topics for the week. And
we cover TNA, we cover WWE, we cover AEW, and we give you our opinions and thoughts on each news story that we find. And we're going to dive into a lot of things. There's been a lot of news as far as what's going on in the professional wrestling world. Bianca Belair, some remarks made about her that were not too positive, and we'll dive into that. We'll talk about possibly what happened on SmackDown tonight. A big night on SmackDown. Cody Rhodes getting a smack on Rock, which was really cool to see.
TNA legend, The Rock.
Yes, yeah,
TNA
absolutely.
legend, The Rock.
So yeah,
we should also cap that off with a big debut that happened at Dynamite this week.
Yeah,
Rainmaker showed up.
Yeah, we'll talk some AEW. We'll definitely talk Sting's retirement match, which was fantastic. Some of the things that happened in that match, maybe a little overboard, but it is what it is. It's Sting, and and how much money AEW pulled in from Revolution. My God, it was insane. So we'll talk about that on the show tomorrow afternoon, 1:00 Central, and on YouTube. You can look up Ramblers Unleashed. Go ahead and give us a subscribe and ring that bell to get notified whenever we do shows. You can also follow us on Facebook, Ramblers Unleashed. We're also on X too, at the Ramblers Pod, X formerly known as Twitter. So any way that you can connect with us, we would greatly appreciate it. And we'll talk to you ringside on Saturday.
There you go. Thanks a lot, Diz.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on, dude. This is a fantastic evening, a great pay-per-view, and then to wrap everything up with two wonderful guys like J-Bone and Bill. This was just fantastic, man. And I hope you guys have me back. This was a lot of fun.
Oh, I think we will, man. Yeah, you're a great guest, and I've been podcasting on and off with you for a little over a decade now, so it doesn't get any smoother than that, man.
Yeah,
so but yeah,
guys,
Bill and
Manscaped.
Yeah, Manscaped.
Smoother with Manscaped. Code TNI. Code TNI, 20% off and free shipping. Bill, any last minute thoughts for tonight?
Tna Sacrifice delivered after a great no surrender. So back to back, but they pretty much don't miss on these. Now, obviously, we're going to get a fallout from Sacrifice, and then from there, we're going to get that build in Philly to Rebellion. So we're kind of getting some ideas, I think, on some of those major matches. So we'll see kind of what happens over the next couple of weeks of TV. We've already had a tease. We talked about some of the other matches that were announced, like Leon Slater, that's going to be making his debut. Really looking forward to seeing that tomorrow. Don't know if that will be this Thursday or the following Thursday, but that's definitely something to look forward to.
Yeah, I'll follow that.
That is one thing. No surprises per se tonight. But obviously Leon Slater has been in the works for a bit.
Yeah. I'll say this was a really, really good pay-per-view. It really turned me on to TNA. I think I'm gonna have to start paying attention to TNA more often, man, because this was really fun. It was a fun pay-per-view. Last night the go home show was a lot of fun. So this is definitely one that I'm going to have to start watching again, because I was a fan of TNA back in the early days when Dixie Carter was there, and we had Nature Boy, and we had Hogan, and we had the Dudleys and all the superstars that came from WWE. I was a fan of that. I loved that. And when Aces and Eights was in TNA, oh my God, that was my faction. I loved that. So I definitely miss TNA, and I'm definitely gonna have to start watching again. This was a fun evening. And it's very cool to see this company and how they're thriving, not surviving. They're thriving in this, and they're just doing a really, really wonderful job.
Dude, that makes me feel like $1,000, man. It really does. It's not just getting someone to follow the show, man. But if you can get them to fall in love with a brand of wrestling again, dude, that's great, man. Yes, I mean we're biased. We know how good it is, and we'll tell you, But then to have someone come back after several years of not really, paying much attention to it, dude, that's awesome, man. And
Well, I think
You know,
that's the case for TNA, really, though. It's exposure is the thing with TNA and Impact
Yeah.
before it. Because I think a lot of people, they watch it, they go to it, they pretty much, you become a fan of it. It's the people that have the opinions a lot of time that don't like it, never watched it, like ever. They just, it was a cool thing to hate back during different times over history.
Right.
But if
Exactly.
you were a fan of it, and honestly, like you look at it, like Disney's talking about, that was their highest point. Like I know some people, like the original list of TNA, will be like, well, they like it before Hogan and all those guys came in. But that was still their highest rated period on Spike TV. So there's like those, like you're talking near 2 million fans were watching TNA Wrestling.
Right.
Like you had 1 million plus people watching TNA Wrestling. And a lot of it was due to a lot of names back then. So they have a history they can pull with. That's why they went back to the TNA name. And once again, it's just getting people. And there is easy access. No one thinks it's easy, but if it isn't on your cable company, there's YouTube. There's all different ways to watch it. So
TNA Plus.
yes. So
Right.
just
Yeah.
but, and like I said, you watch a show like tonight, you watch No Surrender, you watch the Hard to Kills, the Slammiversaries, you'll get it. You'll like if you like, once again, not all wrestling's everyone's cup of tea. There's some that we see it. There's obviously the more story-based products out there. There's more work rate promotions out there. But I think TNA's always had that ability to be the mix of both. Like you get your high work rate matches, but you get some good storytelling too. Then you even get you'll get some good humor. You'll get a little bit of that. They don't get themselves in a box like some of these other companies.
And you know, I think all the people who doubt TNA really need to just sit down and watch it again. You know, if you live on the past, forget about the past. Forget about that and watch all these newcomers, just fresh blood. Yeah, I know you have Eric Young in there. I know you have the return of Nic Nemeth, but watch the fresh blood in TNA. Those guys are really, really working. They're really making a name for the company. And for the love of God, I saw a sign tonight on SmackDown that I need to reiterate to the fans of this podcast and any other wrestling fan out there. Do not, please, for the love of God, do not be an IWC nerd. Don't be that person, please. I hate the internet wrestling community for that reason. Oh.
Because we know it all.
Yeah. Oh, we're the encyclopedia, brother, of wrestling, brother. Please, you nerd. Go back to your mom's basement. Eat your Cheetos down in your
Cheetos.
Yeah. Mom, bring the meatloaf.
Right?
I got old school WCW to watch. Nitro's on. I can't leave.
Oh, don't forget Thunder.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta watch Kevin Nash cut a promo on Thunder.
And on that note, we're gonna get out of here.
You fat slobs. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. This was a lot of fun. Thank you.
You bet, man. We'll have you back sometime soon. But that's going to do it for us. Make sure on your way out, make sure you smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. Why? So that you know when more of our content hits your screen. Say goodnight, Bill.
Good night.
Which one's Jay?